Hello, my name is Glenn Dyer, and you are watching a Dyer-Situation. Today I'm seeing JEM and Holograms. This is apparently based on some sort of series of, like, dolls back in the 80s, from what I gather. And this movie looks kinda like one of those Hannah Montana-ish fake concert films. Well, not even a concert film, like, it looks like it has a story. Okay, the concert film is literally just the concert, but yeah. For whatever reason, this movie has a lot of flack attached to it. I don't know why. For some reason, people just hate the idea of this movie so much. Maybe I just missed a particular article about it or something, but I don't see how it can be that bad. It doesn't look awful. It looks kind of average. I don't know. I guess I might see. Maybe it's a nostalgia thing. I don't know. Though, from what I hear, it would be like me being super nostalgic for Bratz dolls. So I have no idea. Let's see it. I don't know. I don't know. What is this? What is this movie? What? Okay. So, it starts off. Let me get this straight first out. For the most part, I hated the music in this. Nothing against the actual, like, performers itself. Just, it's not my style. And it did annoy me when they kept on referring to themselves as quote-unquote rock stars, when in reality they're pop stars. There's a difference. Pretty big difference. But that's a thing I see, like, from teenage girls all the time, where they're like, I'm gonna be like a rock star, like Justin Bieber, or something. I don't know. Kids are stupid. But anyway, so this movie starts off, and I hated it, of course. Well, at first, like, for the most part during the movie, I hated it, but I could understand it. Like during the first 15 minutes, I hated it, but I could see an audience for it that was not me, right? That happens. And you know, it's basically the story here is kind of a combination Justin Bieber, Hannah Montana. Not actual Miley Cyrus Hannah Montana. I'm talking about like the show Hannah Montana, where it's like a pop star with a alter ego and stuff. It's kind of a combination of those two, because the girl gets discovered on YouTube and moves on and all this stuff. Most of the movie is pretty standard and that's understandable. I could imagine teenage girls watching it and enjoying it. Nothing wrong with that. That part of it was functional. And then there's everything else. It goes through the whole. This is the most baffling part. It goes through throughout the whole story. She gets popular. She gets asked to sign a solo contracts that excludes her family, but she's trying to help them. She has good means. And everyone feels betrayed, and then they come together at the end. Like, it's a standard film, right? And then you're not gonna believe me. I swear, you're not gonna believe me. I don't know if this was in the trailer or anything, but you are not going to believe what actually happened throughout this movie. Okay, so apparently Jem's, or Jennifer, or whatever her name is, Jem's dad is a total asshole, and he's also an inventor. I'm calling him an asshole because throughout the whole movie, he keeps on leaving messages and talking praise for his daughter. The dad's dead, by the way. These are recordings of him, where he's talking praise about his daughter Jem, and not mentioning his other daughter at all. Like, at the very end he says, I love you, and your sister. Like, but I'll continue. I'll continue. So he's an asshole, and he's also an inventor. What did he invent before? God if I know, but he's some sort of inventor. What did he invent? Well, invented a little robot that looks kinda like oh, I don't know. It looks kind of like the Mars rover camera on like a a little wheel, and so I can't believe it. It's like broken. It doesn't work. Like it's supposedly his unfinished project because he died of dead parent disease. I'm not sure they ever say what it was. He's dead though. But but she takes it along with her to Hollywood. When they get into Hollywood, it activates and it like comes to life, and it has like an artificial intelligence in it, and it responds to music, and it projects a holographic image on there, which is on the ceiling, which is a clue for how to get to another part of the mystery, because her dad left her the series of clues to uncover a message that he had made specifically for her when she came of age. Am I crazy? Did this actually happen? It happened! That's this movie. This is I can't make this up. This happens randomly in the movie. This is the B plot. This happened, and I can't even express it enough. You could cut the stupid robot out of this movie very cleanly and not affect the main plot at all, but for some reason it's there. Now, believe me, I am not exactly an expert on JEM lore, but does it have a robot? Does it have a little holographic robot following them around and going wee wee like R2-D2 or something? Like, is that a serious thing? Is it? I would look it up, but I'm not sure it actually matters that much. Because if the original JEM did have a little robot, well, that's clearly one of the things you cut out, because as far as I can tell, the only inspiration this movie took from JEM was singer group, the general look, and the name, and that's about it. So if that's the whole thing, then that's all they took. Then why would they take the robot? Or if there is no robot, then that's almost worse, because who the fuck decided to put in a robot? Why? Why is this here? And yes, the robot is a series of clues for JEM, because apparently the dad only cares about JEM, not his hover daughter, in even the slightest fashion. Like, it's a complete douchebag, doesn't even mention her, doesn't leave her a series of clues and a fucking robot. Jesus Christ. How do I explain this movie? There's a series of songs throughout this. At one point, they're sitting on the beach. There's the forced love interest character, of course. Like, but all four of the girls are on the beach with the forced love interest character. And he said, like, oh yes, I always have, and you know, basically the love interest character, he's supposed to be looking over them, making sure they don't get in trouble. And he said, yes, I'm sick of looking over all these bands that wouldn't survive without auto-tune, or something like that, or like something like that. Like, he's just being kind of a dick. And then they start singing, like the girl starts singing in response to that, and it was incredibly ironic, because the song was very clearly auto-tuned that they were singing. It's like, yes, these people wouldn't survive without auto-tune, but please ignore the fact that we're very clearly using auto-tune. Like, you can hear it. It doesn't sound normal. There's one song that was sung in the middle that I guess was supposed to be a sort of a sellout song, because it was after she ditched her friends and stuff, and she was having a concert that looked more like a music video. Weird choice, but that was what's happening. And that was obviously probably the best song in the movie, but I'm not going to go into that for you. What is this movie, man? What is this? I mean, somebody... No, what is this? I can't even imagine. Like, somebody... No, I am gonna look it up. Does it have a robot? JEM and to holograms. Like, maybe it's not based on a doll, maybe it's a cartoon. I'm gonna look up pictures of this. Yeah, see, I'm seeing 4, 5 girls, whatever. Most of them are 4. Yep, 4 girls. Not seeing a robot. Not seeing a robot. There is no robot. What the fuck is with the robot? As I said, it doesn't even matter if it was there, because I don't know much about the JEM lore, but I doubt she was discovered through YouTube in the lore, so why? If you're gonna change that, then why keep a robot? Why add a robot? Why have a robot? What about this story made somebody say, this needs a little robot? Believe me, until it got activated, even before it got activated, like, I was just thinking, what the fuck is that thing supposed to do? Because she was saying it's an unfinished invention, but I'm like, well, what the fuck is it? It's like a little camera on legs. And he said, it's gonna change the world, or something. And of course that makes no sense, because at the end, it doesn't change the world, it's a fucking decoder device that can make little hologram images. It's like the stupidest invention I've ever seen. Maybe it's the fact that it has artificial intelligence, that's kind of a big deal, but that part seems to be downplayed. Oh god. The climax of this movie is legendarily bad. Okay. So, at the beginning, like, when she's signing on with this clearly going to betray her manager, she's looking over everyone and she's judging what they're wearing, which I don't know why, they're just wearing street clothes, it's not like a costume, but she's judging what they're wearing right at that moment in her office. And then she looks at JEM and she says, oh, those earrings you're wearing are so last year or something. So JEM takes them off and she says, oh yes, give them to us, we'll keep them safe. And she literally puts them in a case in her safe. I don't know why, they had like bags and stuff, like backpacks that they could just put them in. But instead, she's okay with them being put in a safe for no particular reason. I don't understand. But at the conclusion of the movie, we find out that the robot is missing a piece to finish this puzzle, and that piece is her earrings. Like, they fit together and they form the last piece of the puzzle, as it were. And so, what would you do? Bear in mind, this is the moment where she's like the headliner. She has a solo contract. The lady wants to keep her around. All that stuff. What would you do? Well, as a sensible adult, as a person with a functioning brain cell, I would call her up and say, hey, you know those earrings of mine in your safe? Could you deliver those to me whenever you can? Thanks. And they'd be there by like the end of the week. There was no time limit on this, by the way. It's not like they had to get it right then. So you know, most people would come to that conclusion and be like, let's call her up and ask for them. Because it's not like the earrings are the property of the company or something, like they're hers. They're just locked up in that safe. No, but instead, they decide to do the insane, like completely and utterly insane thing of breaking into the building, which he mentions is like a fortress, even though it has like a few fat security guards and stuff. But breaking into the building, like hacking into her safe, distracting all the guards, stealing a bunch of shit, to get the earrings back. And in the process, they find out that the company is actually owned by the forced love interest. So everything's great. I don't know. I think that was the only reason that happened. At one point, they distract the security guards by replacing the television input with a skiing squirrel video. And instead of the security guards like immediately going, oh shit, and like calling someone and being like, oh my these security screens have been hacked or something, and instead they go, oh, hey, Bob, I love this video. What the fuck is this movie? What is with everything? This seems like a by-the-numbers thing, and I'm not talking like the Pan movie, which is just going to be awful and boring and nothing to it. And it could use a weird 90s song in it. Like, I mentioned, it needed that to set it apart. This had an audience already. It had an audience in place. But then they just add all this unnecessary crap, and I don't understand. It confuses me, it confuses my brain. I don't get it. I really don't. Don't watch it? It's not even that funny. I'm making it out to sound funnier than it is. It's actually kind of painful. It's not funny. The music usually is pretty horrible, except for a couple songs. Jeez, I really don't like it. I don't think anybody does. And until next time, I'm Glenn Dyer, and you have been watching Dyer-Situation.